It's a real story. In the heart of the Louisiana bayou, where cypress trees towered above the murky waters like skeletal sentinels, there stood an abandoned amusement park known as and Laughing Playground, and for decades, the once thriving attraction had been a place of joy and laughter for countless children, but its closure was shrouded in mystery and terror. Rumors of fire that had ravaged the park, claiming several lives, had fueled the whispers of a cursed location. The locals avoided the area, fearing the malevolent spirits that were said to haunt the crumbling rides and attractions. As they arrived at the park, a sense of foreboding settled over them. The air was heavy with an eerie silence, and the trees seemed to lean in, as if listening to their every move. Sophia led the team through the entrance gates, which creaked ominously as they pushed them open. As they explored the park, they stumbled upon a decrepit funhouse. The entrance was guarded by a twisted clown statue, its once vibrant paint chipped and faded. Sophia felt a shiver run down her spine as she approached the statue. "This is where it all started," she whispered to her team. According to legend, this funhouse was where the fire that killed several people occurred. As they ventured deeper into the funhouse, they discovered a series of dark corridors and rooms filled with twisted mirrors and carnival games. Team began to feel a creeping sense of dread, as if they were being watched by unseen eyes. Suddenly, they heard a faint whispering in their ears. It was a soft, raspy voice that seemed to be coming from all directions at once. The team tried to shake off the feeling of unease, but it only grew stronger as they continued to explore the funhouse. They stumbled upon a room filled with old photographs and newspaper clippings about the fire that had ravaged the park. Sophia felt a chill run down her spine as she read about the tragic events that had occurred on that fateful night. She began to feel a connection to the victims, as if their spirits were reaching out to her from beyond the grave. As they left the funhouse, Sophia shook off the feeling that they were being led deeper into the heart of the playground. They stumbled upon an old carousel, its horses frozen in place, like macabre statues. Sophia felt a strange sensation wash over her as she approached the carousel. It was as if she was being drawn into a world of madness and terror, but it was too late. The carousel began to turn on its own, its horses galloping wildly as if driven by an unseen force. Sophia felt herself being pulled onto one of the horses, her body moving in time with its rhythmic motion. As she looked around, she saw her team members screaming and running for their lives. The carousel was turning faster and faster, its horses galloping wildly as if possessed by some malevolent spirit. Sophia felt herself being lifted off the ground, her body hovering above the horse as it galloped wildly beneath her. She closed her eyes, bracing herself for impact, but when she opened them again, she found herself standing in the middle of a desolate landscape. The carousel had disappeared, replaced by a vast expanse of nothingness. Sophia looked around, trying to get her bearings, but there was nothing but sand and rock stretching out before her. As she turned to leave, she heard a faint whispering in her ear. "They'll never find your way out," it whispered. "This is my playground, and they'll be trapped here forever." Sophia spun around, but there was no one there. She took off running, determined to escape the devil playground. But as she ran, she realized that she was not alone. The whispering voice seemed to be following her, echoing through her mind as she stumbled through the desolate landscape. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, Sophia saw a glimmer of light in the distance. She stumbled towards it, her heart pounding with fear. As she emerged from the desolate landscape, Sophia found herself back in front of the funhouse. But this time it was different. The doors were open, and a warm light spilled out onto the ground. Sophia hesitated for a moment before stepping inside. As she walked through the funhouse, she realized that it was not just any ordinary amusement park. It was a portal to another dimension, a world where terror and madness reigned supreme. And Sophia was not alone in this world. She was being watched by unseen eyes, eyes that seemed to be following her every move. As she stumbled through the funhouse, Sophia realized that she had to escape. She had to find Away back home before it was too late, Sophia felt a chill run down her spine as she realized that something was very wrong. She got out of bed and approached the drawing. As she looked closer, she saw that it was not just any drawing. It was a message scrawled in red ink across the wall. Sophia took a deep breath and stepped inside. As she walked through the funhouse, she realized that she was not alone. The whispering voice was still with her, echoing through her mind as she stumbled through the dark corridors and rooms. As she walked through the funhouse, Sophia saw things that no human should ever see. She saw children screaming and crying as they were dragged away by unseen hands. She saw adults laughing and playing games with twisted creatures that seemed to be made of pure darkness. And then Sophia saw something that made her blood run cold. She saw herself standing in front of the funhouse, laughing and playing with those twisted creatures like they were old friends. Sophia and #39's heart sank as she realized that she had been here before. She had been trapped in this world forever, reliving the same horrors over and over again. As she turned to leave, Sophia saw something that made her scream with terror. The funhouse had transformed into a mirror image of itself. The rooms were identical, but they seemed to stretch on forever like a maze without end. Sophia knew that she had to escape this place before it was too late. But as she turned to leave, she heard a faint whispering in her ear. "LL never leave," it whispered. "This is my playground, and you and #39. LL be trapped here forever." End quote. And then, everything went black once again. Sophia knew that she had been trapped here forever. The playground had her now, and she would never escape. As she stood there alone in front of the funhouse, Sophia realized that she had been wrong all along. This place was not just an abandoned amusement park. It was a portal to another dimension, a world where terror and madness reigned supreme. And Sophia was trapped here forever. Title: The Haunting of Black Hollow Asylum. Nestled in the depths of a dense, overgrown forest on the outskirts of Millfield lay the crumbling remains of Black Hollow Asylum. Once a notorious institution for the mentally ill, the asylum had a sordid history marked by tales of inhumane treatment, tragic souls, and unexplained disappearances. In its heyday, the asylum was a sprawling complex that housed hundreds of patients. But decades of neglect left the building in disarray. Its walls were coated in peeling paint and encroaching vines, windows shattered, and remnants of a once thriving institution lay scattered throughout. The town had tried to erase the asylum from memory, but its legacy lingered like a thick fog, promising dread and despair to all who dared to enter point one chilly autumn evening, as the leaves crunched beneath their feet and a blazing sunset cast a fiery orange glow in the distance. They made the daring decision to explore the haunted ruins. Armed with flashlights, makeshift supplies, and a sense of reckless bravado, they set out under the cover of night. The full moon hung high in the sky, casting an unearthly glow across the twisted branches that swayed in the gentle breeze. "That aren't," Carla added, glancing apprehensively at the decaying facade of the asylum. Even in the dim light, the building's despondent presence loomed over them. As they entered the lobby, they were greeted by a dreadful sight. The expansive room was adorned with decrepit chairs and faded photographs of the asylum's past. Dust motes danced in the beam of their flashlights, illuminating remnants of moments lost to time. A broken reception desk, orthopedic equipment covered in grime, and shattered mirrors reflecting their stolen innocence. "Wow, this is so surreal," Mia said, her voice barely above a whisper as she took in the broken furniture and graffiti-covered walls. Against her better judgment, Carla nodded. They paired off, Elliot with Mia, and Carla with Jordan. With a sense of rising apprehension, they ventured deeper into the asylum, the sounds of their footsteps echoing through the desolate halls. Elliot and Mia headed toward the east wing, where an old sign pointed them toward the patient wards. "This place is a gold mine for scary stories," Elliot said, his excitement trumping his fear, even as his heart raced. As they walked, the floor creaked beneath their feet, and the air grew heavier, thickening with a sense of foreboding. The further they ventured, the more disquieting the atmosphere became. "Do you think we'll see anything?" Mia asked, her stomach twisting with a mix of curiosity and dread. He turned it slowly, pushing the door open. A chill enveloped them as the darkness spilled into the corridor. The room appeared to be a dilapidated patient room, with metal beds and tattered sheets hanging off the edges like ghosts of the past. Meanwhile, in the West Wing, Carla and Jordan were experiencing their own nightmare. They had ventured into the treatment room, filled with rusty medical instruments that lay scattered across the floor like macabre souvenirs. Jordan flicked on his flashlight and glanced around with trepidation, the echoes of the past pressing down upon him like a weight. "Do you think they used these on the patients?" he asked, half jokingly, desperately trying to mask his fear. Suddenly, a chilling breeze swept through the room, extinguishing their flashlight, plunging them into darkness. Panic surged as they fumbled for their phones, illuminating their surroundings with shaky beams. Jordan grabbed Carla's arm, pulling her toward the exit as she struggled to break away. They stumbled backward, desperately trying to escape the ghostly figure, but the woman's haunted eyes seemed to follow them, terror rooting them in place. "No, don't leave me," her voice rang out, cracking with anguish and hopelessness, resonating deeply within their souls. Suddenly, they turned to look towards the entrance, where a powerful force surged forth. The door swung wide, and the air grew heavy. From the darkness, a figure emerged, no longer just a ghost, but a presiding entity over their fate. "Find him! Help him!" the spirits cried, their hands reaching out toward the friends, desperation etched on their faces. "Who?" Mia pressed, her voice shaking with fear. "Who do we need to help?" The old woman stepped closer, her hollow eyes filled with sorrow. "My son, he was taken from me. He's here trapped. You must help him, or we are lost." Elliot took a step back, heart racing. What did they do to him? As the spirits swelled in intensity, a memory pierced through the haze, flooding Elliot's mind. He saw a young boy trapped in a room, screaming in terror, locked away from the world, tormented by monstrous figures who reveled in his suffering. "We have to find him," he shouted. But as those words left his lips, the forces around them surged, pulling them toward the darkness. "No, you cannot leave!" they shrieked, desperation in their pleas mingling with the cold air. Holding on to hope, they ventured deeper into the asylum, sensing the oppressive energy closing in around them. Room after room, they stumbled upon various remnants of the asylum's dark history, splattered notes, outdated medical supplies, echoes of madness that resonated through the walls. Suddenly, they found themselves standing before room 237, the place they had initially avoided, and a name that echoed loudly in their minds. Without discussing it, they all knew they had to enter. Are we sure about this? Carla asked, casting wary glances toward the door. Anxiety hung heavy in the air. That's when a chilling laugh echoed through the air, cutting through their thoughts like a knife. You think you can help him? A sinister voice echoed, filling the room with a heavy dread. Let him go, Elliot shouted, summoning every ounce of courage he had left. Foolish children, this asylum belongs to me. The voice replied with a mix of mockery and rage, the air growing colder with each word. In that moment, the walls seemed to pulsate, filled with images of horrific experiments, patients strapped down, their faces twisted in agony, while twisted figures loomed over them, reveling in their pain. The friends watched, frozen with horror, barely managing to hold onto their sanity as the force tried to push them back. Elliot stepped up bravely, his flashlight flickering against the darkness. You don't scare me. We're not afraid of you. The entity screamed in fury, desperately trying to resist the combined strength of the group. You have no idea what you are dealing with. Maybe not, Mia said, but we know love. We're not letting fear defeat us. As the bright light enveloped the room, the energy clashed with the malevolent presence that held onto its clutches. The room quaked, revealing cracks in the walls and shattering the heavy atmosphere that clutched them like a suffocating veil. Their experience together would remain forever, etched in their hearts, a reminder that even in the darkest of places, love could conquer all.